So, guys, I'm very, very excited to be here today to discuss teaching English online. I first want to start off by introducing myself. So, my name is Jessica. I am the recruitment specialist here at the TEFL Institute. I would assist you either during your course or maybe after the course, after you've graduated, in getting your first TEFL job, whether that's abroad or online. But today we're just going to talk about the world of online teaching and how to get started. Just before I start there, sorry, I think if they put themselves on mute, that would be fantastic, just because the noise is picking up again there, if you don't mind. I'll just pop you on mute there. Perfect. Sorry, guys. Just a few technical issues, but we'll get started now.
Yeah. I
All right.
realised mine hadn't started the video. I pressed it and it released me.
Oh, perfect. I can see you now. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
we had to start there. I hadn't pressed
Great.
that.
Perfect. If you want to pop yourself on mute, that would be great as well, just in case.
I'm on mute.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Tony. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Let's start. Just a quick question before I get into the topics. I'd love to know from you guys, what is the reason that you would like to teach online? If you want to put in the chat, so you'll see the chat icon below. If you want to put in your message and tell me what is the reason you want to teach English online? Is it the freedom with, working from home, the comfort of your own home? Is it to earn a bit of extra money on the side? Um, is it that you don't want to go traveling? You just want to start teaching straight away? I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. All right. Yeah, I travel a lot, therefore online suits better. Yeah, absolutely. Even just being a digital nomad, it's a fantastic opportunity as well. Yeah, working freedom, that's it. I mean, so many people now are going remote regardless of the industry. Gain a bit of experience for teaching. Yeah, absolutely. This is actually a really good route for gaining experience before approaching the classroom, as it can seem quite daunting doing lessons in person. So it's a fantastic way to start. Kristen says flexibility with scheduling. Yeah, absolutely. Continue working while traveling. The scheduling is so flexible. It really can fit into any kind of lifestyle, which is really great. Yeah, work from home, earn a bit of extra money as well. It's always good. Yeah, work and travel, less commute time, Louise says. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. If we can even, just completely eliminate the commute, that's always good. Um, Earn a bit of money as always. Yeah, of course. Start straight away. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, it's, you're not having this longer process of having to move abroad, start into a school and the induction there, in a lot of cases, teaching online, you can start tomorrow, which is really exciting. Yeah, some really cool reasons there, guys. I live in a small town, but I don't want to be restricted. Yeah, that's a huge one I get as well. A lot of people looking for advice because they live in the countryside, but they want to teach English as well. So it's a really, really good option. Some really cool reasons there, guys. So I'm going to get straight into it, guys, what we're going to cover today. So, firstly, I'm just going to talk about what is teaching English online, what are the requirements, what are the advantages over online versus classroom. So, if you're still kind of on the fence of how you want to start your TEFL career, whether you want to work in a school or you want to do it online, we'll go through that as well. Then I'm going to zone in on the types of online jobs. So, when we talk about contract jobs, freelance, or even starting your own business. There's a couple of options to start with. Also, where can you find a job? That is the question I get all the time. Find me a job, Jess. Where can I get it? Okay, so we're going to go through that process. What links you can use as well. So don't worry, I'm going to put in some links into the chat as well. Okay. And then finally, what can we do? The TEFL Institute, how can we help you in terms if it's upskilling or even some career guidance services as well, okay? At the very end then, I'm going to do a Q&A session as we always do. I'm going to try and finish up, guys, probably about 5:45. So I don't want it to go on too long for yourselves either. You're all busy people, okay? Um, Before I dive in there, guys, we just wanted to offer you a little gift as well as webinar participants of a free online lesson pack. All you need to do, guys, is I'm going to send you a link and you're going to follow this link. I'm going to put it in the chat now for you. And you need to leave a review of your experience. All you need to do is mention my name and email us a screenshot or a photo of this review, and you can claim your free online lesson pack. So there's no excuse to get started teaching online. You'll have all your lessons ready to go. All right. So if you pop onto that link, it'll bring you to our Google page, okay? All right. So guys, I'm going to start off basically just explaining what is teaching English online and what is the market there for it at the moment, okay? So teaching online primarily is teaching English learners at any level over the internet, primarily through a video platform. So that was the original form of teaching online. Now it's branched out a bit. You can do it on the iPad, you can do it on the phone, even just through phone calls. It's amazing. So there's a lot more options these days, but primarily that's what it is. If it's whether through Zoom or Skype, any kind of platform like that as well. Most of the time, lessons will be one-to-one, or they could be group classes as well. I know that if you are maybe starting off teaching English online, probably one-to-one is a comfortable place to start. But group classes are a fantastic way to earn a bit of extra money as well. The teaching online industry is obviously very, very successful, particularly during and after the COVID pandemic. It just absolutely skyrocketed the demand to learn English online as many schools temporarily closed. So this is good news for us in terms of those who do want to teach online. And it's continued to increase now as more and more people are wanting to work remotely or work from home. We see this trend. And not only that, but the student themselves wants to learn from home. So it's a really, really great option. So I'm going to go through there, guys, the requirements. If you could just give me one moment there, I can see a couple of people are just trying to enter the room as well. So we're having a really great turnout today, which is really, really great. Okay, and I just had a quick question there in the chat that I can take. So perfect. So the link there should be in the chat, guys. If you can see it, let me know. I'll just copy it in there again. So what you do is you, after you've completed the review, mention my own name, take a photo or a screenshot and email it to us, okay? All right. So guys, let's move on to requirements of teaching English online. So firstly, I'm going to touch on education, okay? Contrary to belief, you don't need a degree and you don't need prior teaching experience, okay? Of course, it's always an advantage, but it's actually not required to start. So as long as you are a fluent level English speaker, and you have a TEFL certificate, minimum of 120 hours. Okay, so you will see that across the board. 120 hours is always the requirement. Of course, you can build up from there as well if you want to start off with our 180-hour diploma. That's absolutely no problem for applying for jobs as well, but this is the minimum, okay? Some companies will require a minimum of a bachelor's degree, okay, and they will look for evidence of that as well. And they may look for 1, 2, or 3 years of experience, but this just depends on the job, really, and it may just require that might bit more advanced teaching, okay? So just look out for that as well. If you are really keen on the job, I always say just apply anyway. It doesn't hurt. And you never know, they might really, really need a teacher. So always apply. That is what I would say. Secondly, we're going to move on to setup. So your tech setup. Of course, you need a good headset and earphones. All right. So particularly if you're living in a, you're working from home, it's a very noisy environment. Do you need noise cancellation headphones? These are the things you need to consider. A good computer, laptop, or even tablet goes without saying. Specifications would be down to the employer themselves. Okay. So usually when you're applying for a job, in the job descriptor, you will see the specifications and they will more likely than not test it. Okay. They will test your internet speed as well. So this needs to be stable. It's definitely, I would say if you're starting off, definitely use what you have. But if you are looking at doing this full time, professionally as a career, it definitely is worth investing in good technology as well. Guys, just a reminder, if you do have any questions, you can pop them in the chat as well, okay, throughout, or you can shout them out as well. So I just see a question there. I try to teach online on websites like italki, that's a popular one, yeah. But they didn't register English teachers and some languages are closed. Yeah, this can happen too, absolutely. What I'm going to do actually throughout this webinar as well is give you some recommendations for particular categories. So if you don't have a degree, if you do have a degree, if you're a non-native English speakers, what is the best websites to apply for? So don't worry, I'll cover you there, okay? Fantastic. I see B got a review done. Fantastic. Thank you so much, B. That's fantastic. Lovely. I'm just going to carry on there, guys. So thirdly, this requirement, I cannot stress enough, guys. It's having a fantastic energy on camera, okay? This is really sought after and completely underrated. So, to be able to have a positivity, friendliness, patience, and to translate that through camera is absolutely essential, especially if we'll say the student is probably not the most tech savvy. You do need that patience as well with them throughout the lesson. Okay, so definitely note that down, guys. That is really, really important. Fourthly, then, more likely than not, the company may ask for a demo video. Okay. It is important that you put time into this and produce a professional video. You want to come across, as I said, energetic and confident. And you really want to make your video stand out as well. Usually it won't be long, probably a minute or two possibly of doing a demo lesson. You would be talking about yourself as well, introducing yourself. And I think probably the best advice I can give is being more specific on the company and what they want from the video. We can provide guidelines on how to do your demo video, but actually even researching, if you go on YouTube, and for example, if you're applying to PALFISH, we'll say, if you put in PALFISH example demo lesson, they'll have loads of examples there that you can learn from and submit your demo lesson to them as well. So definitely a bit of research there is fantastic. So you can tick all the boxes for them. Right, guys, is there any questions so far? Please stop me if I did miss anything. So B says, I think it's really challenging to find online teaching jobs here in Ireland. I qualified a year ago and still no work. It can be a tough one, absolutely, B, sometimes, and trying to find the best fit. But during this webinar, I am going to put in our recommendations, maybe some you haven't tried just yet. But like with any job, it does have with a job hunt, it can have these obstacles. But definitely once you find it and find the best fit for yourself, that's usually the best option as well. So Jackie's just saying, what was the YouTube for the demo? Yeah, so actually, what I meant there, Jackie, was if you search on YouTube, the company, okay, there is a lot of people who will actually go through a tutorial themselves, who've applied themselves, and provide you a video tutorial of how to do the demo lesson. So simply, if you put in the company name of the teaching online platform and then video tutorial, you'll usually find it because it's usually specific to the company. All right. So guys, I'm going to move on to the advantages of teaching online versus teaching in the classroom. So what are the main differences, okay? So obviously with teaching online, it's a fantastic way to fund your travels, supplement your income as well if you're already working during the day, and you can have it as a side job. It is quite good actually to be able to do both if you can. I definitely did myself in the past. So I was working in school, usually 9 to 5, and then I just wanted to earn a bit of extra money while I was abroad. And I did a bit of online tutoring on the side, and that covered even just doing a few hours a week, that covered my groceries, some social events and all of that. So really made such a huge difference to my experience abroad as well and really helped me out. Just a quick question there from Claire. So AI app, do you know the one TEFL teachers use? Jacob was talking about it before. Yeah, we actually have a fantastic webinar, Claire, that Jacob, our academic director, takes you through how to use this AI tool. So if you search on our YouTube channel, you will find it. I believe it is just ChatGPT, as far as I know, which is really, I've used myself as well, really, really helpful. But if you look up his webinar, it's brilliant. He takes you through the whole process as well. So guys, that's actually a great tip there on lesson planning, particularly for online lessons. Using AI is really going to help you there as well. All right. So we have some there said, I completed level 5 and I discovered that my country is not part of the TEFL requirements, Zimbabwe. How can I get help? Yeah, again, can be a tricky one sometimes to fish out the best companies for non-native English speakers, but I'll definitely provide some recommendations there throughout the webinar, so don't worry. All right. Just to continue on there, guys, about the advantages of teaching online. Of course, you can teach from anywhere, any country that you wish, which is really great, even if you do have, some restrictions in terms of where you can work, even if it's visa restrictions, anything like that, then this is another option. You can teach online, which is really, really great as well. And of course, you can work as many hours or as few hours as you like. So if you are in the classroom, you could have a contract that might restrict your hours. So where if you are teaching freelance, you can really fill up your calendar as many hours as you wish. So this is also a huge benefit. Also, you can work whatever time during the day that suits yourself. If you have kids, you want to work particular hours throughout the day, but not too many, this is perfect as well, perfect option. And I think there, in terms of teaching online and the impact that you can have, is also absolutely amazing. So when you are working in the classroom, you may see that student maybe 1 hour a week, whereas teaching online, particularly if you're doing freelance or starting your own business, you can have as many hours together as you like throughout the week and really, really make a huge impact on their progress as well. And you have that flexibility if you really want to help your students further. So this is a huge advantage, I think, as well, teaching online and the classroom. All right. So I'm going to get on to, guys, which a lot of you are waiting for answers on, is how do I get work online and how do I find a job? As I said, if you want to note here, guys, there is 3 types of teaching English online jobs. So first, you have contract, or referred to as employee work, okay? Secondly, you have freelance or marketing platforms, they call them as well. And thirdly is starting your own business. So see, employee or contract work, okay, you essentially sign up to an online teaching school. You get hired, you sign a contract, and you get your fixed pay and your fixed hours. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, the advantages here is that you are provided with the materials, the curriculum. You also may get detailed training, and there's very little preparation on your end before the lesson. Okay, so if you do feel you're not ready to put a lesson together, this could be a good option as well. Of course, if you prefer more of a fixed routine, this might be ideal for you. You know, you don't want the fuss of having to handle a calendar. This might be a really good option as well. Just got a question there. Check. Sorry to interrupt, but are you meant to be screen sharing? I just want to make sure I'm not miss. No, sorry. It's no screen share. It's just myself. So if you do want to write down any notes, feel free as well, guys. And this is recorded, so it will go up on our YouTube channel afterwards. If there's anything that you missed, you can watch it back as well. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to cover then next, guys, is the disadvantages, okay, of employer contract work. So you work scheduled hours, so you don't set your own schedule. Also, the time zone difference. A lot of these companies could be Asian based. So that's just something to consider as well, okay? It may not suit your times. It may be very, very early in the morning. So it just depends on yourself. Um, the pay can vary greatly, anywhere from $5 to $20 an hour. Really depends. And a lot of the time they may require the minimum of a university degree. So that's just something to note there as well, guys. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put in some recommendations into the chat now. Okay, guys? And these are some companies, popular companies, that provide employee contract work. Okay, so I'm just going to pop it in the chat if you want to open it up there, guys. Just have a question there as well in the chat. Um, are we able to tutor online TOEIC students, or is that not a thing? No, absolutely. So when it comes to exam preparation, this is very popular online as well because, as you can imagine, if they are a university level or anything like that, they're going to be their schedule is going to be jam packed. So they just want to be able to fit in a quick lesson online at home, something like this. So that's absolutely possible as well. They may look for a lesson that focuses in on exam preparation. Usually you can charge a bit more for this as well. So that's a huge advantage. So I just got a question there. Do I offer CV review? Yes, I do. So you can email ourselves, and if you send a copy of your CV, maybe before you decide to apply for a couple of teaching online jobs, we can have a look at your CV and make sure everything is up to scratch and give you a bit further advice as well. So absolutely send it over. So I just got another great question there. So how do you know if background classroom is acceptable, non-offensive? What is the type of background to have? I have seen a lot of, sorry, just struggling to read it there. You want to have a child-friendly, engaging background, but not overly stimulating. I assume you mean props as opposed to the virtual background. Again, it's actually up to the employer themselves. So usually they will have a strict criteria on what props you can have in the back. Most of the time, particularly if it's children, you might just have a map or maybe a little whiteboard, a few animals, teddies like that. So it really just depends. So there would be, or even the company might have a virtual background that you need to use as well. So definitely consult with the company. All right. And Claire asks, can you get 40 hours a week like a normal job? Yeah, it really depends. I mean, if you are talking about freelance, as I said, it's unlimited hours. You can work as many hours as you like. Contract work, as I discussed, no, it wouldn't be 40 hours. And the reason is most of the time, Claire, teaching would not be that many hours in general because it is quite energy intensive job. Okay, it would be like having a Zoom meeting 40 hours a week. It's a lot of interaction to be doing, so it wouldn't be like your typical 9 to 5 job. We have 35 to 40 hours. So if you are looking at contract work or anything like that, no, it would usually be half or a bit more of that. So that's definitely something to consider as well. And you need time as well for lesson preparation. So Jerry just says, what CV recommendations can you offer for those who don't have prior teaching experience? That's a really, really great question. So definitely pop over your CV and I can give you a bit more further advice. But just the top of my head there, Jerry, in terms of no experience, and it is one of the requirements, definitely zone in on any maybe volunteering experience you have, any, training experience you had in a previous role, anything like that. We also have a fantastic 10-hour teaching practicum course that we run. This is a great thing to add to your CV. I would definitely recommend signing up. It is a weekend with one of our tutors and other students. They're going to take you through how to, in a practical sense, how to carry out a lesson, and you can pop that on your CV as well. Okay, I'm just going to continue on there, guys. So, secondly, I'm going to move on to freelance and tutoring. Okay. As I said before as well, it can be referred to as a marketing platform. So, when it comes to these type of jobs, it would be particularly my preference and something that I would have done a lot in the past. It's essentially it's a marketplace for teachers. Okay. So you are creating your own profile and you are advertising it to students, their student base that they have, okay? So really it's a great way to cut down on all the work of having to find students for yourself. The advantages there is you do get to choose your own students. You can choose your own niche as well, a lot of the time. So when I talk about niche, that could be conversational English, business English, exam preparation, maybe just young learners. Just depends what your preference is. You can also create your own lesson plans. A lot of time people prefer to have this prepared for them already. Again, my preference would probably be doing my own lesson plans. You have your own control of it. You know your material very, very well already. So it's a really good option as well. The pay rate as well is great because it is unlimited and you can set it yourself. Okay, so this is a great advantage. Obviously, goes without saying, more autonomy. You can choose your own schedule, create your own calendar. So this provides a lot of freedom. So when it comes to requirements, generally speaking, it is more minimal than contract or employee work. So if you don't fit the criteria for these jobs, looking for a bachelor's degree, looking for native English speakers, I think freelance or online tutoring is a great option for you as well. Maybe the downsides of freelance is income and hours not always guaranteed, particularly at the start, can be a bit of a slow start, particularly if you've never done teaching before. Okay, so you want to give yourself time to, ease yourself into it, build up a bit of confidence. So take that into consideration as well. You mightn't be working, 25 hours in your first week. But it is going at a pace that is comfortable for you, which is good too. Yeah, it can take a little while as well to attract the students in. Okay, the best way to gain students is for them to write reviews about you on the teaching platform. Okay, maybe you'll get a star rating, something like this. So that's one to note, guys. Really, really important is if you do have a higher rating on these platforms, you are, top of the feed. So this will give you a good chance to get more students. Okay. It can be quite competitive. There is a lot of other teachers who could be very qualified, but really I think what's key is, really playing out on, what makes you unique as a teacher. Is it that you are very patient, you are very energetic, you're really funny, you like to have a sense of humor about English, or Is it that you just want to focus in on conversational English? Sometimes that's all learners want, is just an hour to speak with you and get comfortable speaking English. And the other downside there is that you may have to pay commission. Okay, so because you're using this platform, they are taking a small cut of your pay rate as well. But I believe a lot of the time, the more lessons or the more students you get, the less the commission percentage is. Okay. So I'm just going to share in the chat there, guys, some of my recommendation for freelance and tutoring platforms if you want to get started. Just pop it in here. There's some really good options there as well. Feel free as well, guys, to pop in your questions as I go. I'll try and get back to them if I do miss them. All right. Okay, guys. And thirdly, then, going on to starting your own business. We do actually have a fantastic webinar by Kate, who had set up her own business, teaching online business. And it's a really great webinar where she really focuses in on how to market yourself as a teacher, how to get set up, even financially with technology. She really goes into depth about this. So I would definitely recommend checking that out if you do have any further questions. But I'm just going to briefly give you an overview of it. So, of course, with building your own business, you will have full control over your professional life, which is just a huge, huge bonus. You are your own boss. You have complete autonomy. You don't have to worry about commission cuts, anything like that. Again, you can set your own rates. You don't have fixed hours or fixed pay or any contracts to worry about. The other side of it, though, would be the higher startup cost. Okay, so of course, as a business, you do have to invest in it. There is a financial side, invoicing, handling payments. Maybe you have contracts with the students themselves. Okay, and handling your calendar as well. So really, it can be a bit riskier on the riskier side. So I think definitely freelance and tutoring is a great place to start if you want the freedom of having your own business, but not quite ready to take that step. I would definitely recommend it as well. Is there any questions there, guys? I'll just have a quick check. So Eileen said, what is the webinar for the freelance, please? Yeah, for the starting your own business, I can pop it in there. And I'm actually just going to pop in Kate's business as well, just to give you an example of what it looks like. Okay, so there's the webinar if you want to check that out, guys, and how to start your own business. Okay. So finally, guys, then I'm just going to move on to how to find a teaching English online job. So we have our own jobs board now that you do have full access to as one of our enrolled students. So I'm just going to pop the link there. Just going to give you a couple of more options in terms of online teaching vacancies. And I'm also additionally going to put in some more TEFL jobs boards for you to choose from. Okay, so even if you feel you're not having luck with applying to the companies that I've recommended, you can scour through some of the jobs boards and see if there is any opportunities there as well. In terms of what we can do, if you are currently studying with us or you've just finished the course and you do need a bit of assistance with job hunting, okay, we can absolutely help you out if you do contact us in our recruitment team. As I said before, we do also provide assistance with your resume, even with your cover letter, anything like that. If you want to send over your introduction or demo video, we can have a look through it and let you know how it is, give you our feedback as well. I would like to mention as well, we have a fantastic job coaching session as well that we hold um every second Tuesday of the month, or sorry, every last Tuesday of the month. So this is a really great, apologies, I'm confusing with another session. It is the first Monday of the month. I'm so sorry. Let me check there. So sorry, it was yesterday, so the second Monday even. So it's with our job coach, Emos, who takes you through even more tailored approach on how to get a job, how to write your CV. So fantastic workshop as well, guys. So that's the second Monday of every month. Sorry about the confusion there. Um, Also in terms of upskilling, so we provide specialist courses as well that you can study. So we have a 60-hour award in teaching English online, or an even smaller option is our 30-hour teaching English online course. So basically, these aren't foundational qualifications like the 120 or the 180-hour diploma. These are add-on courses that would complement these qualifications. And they do specialize in how to conduct and plan an online lesson, okay? Perfect. I just see a quick question there in the chat. So, Serena says, what's the difference between doing the 180-hour and the 300-hour? Would it look better on a CV for employers if you had more hours done, or does it matter? That's a great question. Um, I believe not so much the hours, but what are you learning in that course? Okay, so you need to detail that out on your CV. Because if the employer just sees 180-hour or 300-hour and they don't know what that contains particularly, it's definitely important that you list that out. So when it comes to 30-hour, to say that the 300-hour, in the 300-hour, I completed the 180-hour TEFL diploma, and I also did 2 additional 60-hour awards that were in, depending what I specialize in, either it's business English, teaching English and other subjects. So if you list that out to be sure, and then the accreditation and the provider, okay? So that's really, really important. All right. So guys, that brings us to the end of the webinar. Please, for the last 5 minutes, please feel free to pop in your questions. What I am going to do there, guys, because it is a common question I do get, is what companies hire without a degree, what companies hire non-native English speakers. So I'm actually just going to pop our recommendations in the chat, okay? So this might help. So the first there I'm just going to pop in is companies without a degree. All right, some really good ideas. And companies that may favor non-native English speakers as well. Perfect. If there's any other questions there, guys, pop it in. See a question there. Can't seem to find Jacob's link to AI. Oh yeah, perfect. So if you just go onto our YouTube channel, the TEFL Institute, and just type in AI lessons, TEFL Institute, it should come up there straight away for you. Just got a question there. Can the chat be accessed later to use links? No, it can't be accessed later. But if you do miss any links, feel free to email us and we can send them on to you as well afterwards. Just a question there. Do we email the review proof too? Yes, please. So you need to send a photo or a screenshot to us to see that you had actually written the review, and mention my own name, which is Jessica. And then from there, we will email you the free online lesson pack, okay? I'll just pop in the review link there again. So you need to email the screenshot, okay? Not in the chat, just to be sure, guys, okay? So Neil says, when you say without a degree, do you mean a primary degree in any other subjects? Great question. I should have specified. Without a bachelor's degree, okay, which would be considered level 8. Again, it can depend on the company as well, but generally speaking, it would be bachelor's. The last few questions there. What about lesson planning? Sorry, your question got lost. Oh yeah, what about lesson planning? Can be most time consuming. Yeah, absolutely. The amount of hours I spent when I first started teaching, and this was before AI, is it was a lot. But I think the thing is that you get smarter with it and definitely make sure that you save your past lessons and use them again. Okay. Of course, I'd always make those tweaks to personalize them for every student, but make sure you have a bank of or a library of your past lesson plans and use them again and again. Okay. Even being able to use your own lessons. Again, you have a better you'll be able to improve on these lessons as a teacher as well. So that's going to be really, really good. And as well, as I said, you have AI now, which is really great. So definitely check out Jacob's webinar. Also online resources. So a lot of people actually sell lesson plans as well. There can be some free ones as well. So some really great examples. Online worksheets, if you're really stuck, they're there as well. So another question: what is the don't apologize for any silly questions, Helena. What is the difference between a freelancer and starting your own business? Both options sound similar. Yeah, in terms of the terminology, it's probably a bit confusing, all right. It's so when I talk about freelance in this sense, it would be a freelance platform, a marketing platform. So you're using a marketplace to advertise yourself as a teacher. So you're using a company to recruit students for you. Whereas starting your own business, you're out on your own, you have to do your own promotion. So that would be the main difference there. And of course, as I said, the marketing platform will take a commission as well. So is AI to help with lesson planning? Can you explain what it can be used for? I would absolutely love to go into depth. Unfortunately, we don't have the time today, but definitely check out Jacob's webinar. The bones of it really is that you're giving the system commands. So, for example, you would say, write me a lesson plan for level B2 for a 12-year-old boy, something like that. And it will give you a personalized lesson plan step by step. So it is very impressive too. Okay, I'll just take a final question there. As there are 6 levels, it's not always obvious what finishes at A1 and starts A2. I know there is a table. Yeah, that's definitely a common query is trying to gauge their level. Sometimes they can be kind of borderline, can't they? You're not really sure. So I think it really depends on if you're doing your own business or you're going through a company. The company is going to level test them first before they give the student to you, so you'll already know. Okay, if you're doing the level testing yourself, there's plenty of guides online that can help you with this. So ticking off a criteria. um Generally it's a tricky one for sure. Sometimes students can kind of go between levels at times, depending on what topics as well. So I think start off slow, don't be afraid to start off slow. And then if you do find that they are more advanced, you can take it up a notch then. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. As I said, though, this webinar is recorded, so if you did miss anything or arrived a little late, you can watch it back on our YouTube channel, the TEFL Institute YouTube channel. Okay. Any additional questions, feel free to email us anytime. We're also available on live chat on our website. Also, you can pick up the phone and give us a call if you do need any advice at all. Okay. I do want to thank you so much for attending, for listening. It was fantastic to speak about teaching English online. And I really wish you the very best of luck with your job hunt. And if you do need any advice, get in touch. Thank you so much.